Yo, it's Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. See me rocking and chilling with my guy Ice. I know what it is, man. Nets fans is the best fans. We out here, man. Ice, talk to us, man. Tell them your handle where they can find you. Know what I mean? We here.
Y'all know where I'm at. Iceman, the Eskimo, the tip off of Brooklyn Nets podcast on YouTube and on TikTok where it's jumping. I just had to get off the live right now to do this video with Breeze, but you know what I'm saying? Like it is jumping over there. So y'all know where I'm at. Holla.
Yeah, I'll be over there. You know what I mean? I tap in, I listen to them. They was talking about who Unc and this and that about Unc. I was just listening in the chat. But I enjoy it. It's like as soon as I tune in, it's easy to engage. You know what I'm saying? I really do like that show. So again, like I said, I'm a fan too. I don't always need to jump on the panel and talk. It's dope. I like being on the panel, but sometimes I just listen. You know what I'm saying? I do that, you know what I mean? When I'm not working, I'm listening to Ice Show. Like I'm on Ice Show, like that's like my lunch break. Other than that, I'm working. You feel me? I'm gonna pull up on the panel though, man, for sure though. I'm definitely gonna do that. Shout out to the ruler FN. He said Ice be putting in pain on that TikTok, huh?
Yeah, they know over there.
Yeah. Yo, that's what's up, man. Shout out to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. He said happy Saturday. Hey everyone, man. Shout out to you. Subscribe to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. He's a content creator that, you know what I'm saying, been supporting my content for a long time. So subscribe to his page, subscribe to Ice page. You feel me? We trying to go up, you know what I'm saying? You can see Ice page, he live too. You know what I'm saying? We live at the same time. So yeah, we gonna get to it. Now you see the title. When did the NBA start only drafting freshmen as #1 pick? Right? Like, yo, Ice, like you showed us that there was talent in the G League when not in the G League, that wasn't just freshmen like Meek Clifford, and you heard how he was playing early in the season. And I'm saying that to say that the #1 pick used to be seniors. It used to be second year, third year players. When did it only go to freshmen, bro? Like, when's the last time there was a #1 pick that was not a freshman? Who is that?
The #1 pick that wasn't a freshman?
That wasn't a freshman.
I don't even know, bro. That's been a while. It's been a while. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I just gave you about Kevin Garnett in '95 being out of high school, T-Mac being out of high school, Kobe being out of high school. They didn't even touch college. You know what I'm saying? But they changed that rule. So I want to say maybe after that, because they said 2008 is when that rule changed that you had to do 1 year of college. So maybe after that, they just stuck to being freshmen after that. Like whoever's the youngest, you know what I'm saying, most talented, then I'm gonna go from there. So it might have been, you know what I'm saying, maybe 2009 and up that they started doing that, drafting freshmen first over the seniors, even though it seemed like most back then, before Kevin Garnett, most of the seniors were more polished than the freshmen, you heard? So they might have started doing it then.
Yeah. Yo, me personally, I look at it for what it is. Like, I guess they doing it because, you know, they get more of the play because they realize after, you know, studying the game that you get your best years out of a basketball player earlier in their career, opposed to getting them in their fourth year in college. You get them in their first year in college, you know what I'm saying, and make the league like that. And, you know, maybe it was business. Maybe it was money, Ice, you know what I'm saying? Because college basketball make a lot of money. A lot of money. People don't know that, but they make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So, I could find out the player because Kyrie Irving, Zion Williamson. I said Zion. You know I'm a Nets fan. Zion Williamson. It's just I kept trying to John Morant. Yo, chat, help me out. Who is the last player that was drafted that wasn't a freshman? Hold on. Terrell Davis, he said if it's just freshmen in school, it would be Rasheed in 2024 because he didn't go to American college. Right, but to me, stuff like this is asterisks. Like you got to put an asterisk on it because that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. You feel what I'm saying? I'm really talking about like the NCAA draft, the NBA drafting a player from the NCAA that wasn't a freshman. Cooper Flag, all of the recent players are definitely freshmen, right? From 2025 to 2020, all of those players are freshmen. How far do we got to go back to find a player that's not a freshman? Jordan? Who? Akeem Olajuwon was what in his second year, I think, maybe first year. I don't know, man. Chat, help me out. Andrew Bogut in 2005. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Shout to Jamal. He said you're shout to Player One. He said great topic. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? We just trying to, it's the off day for Nets fans like me, for fans like us. You know what I'm saying? The Nets don't play, It's all good. They don't want the Nets to play on a Saturday. I mean, we play on a Sunday. We good. And we good. We good. So it's an off day for us, though. Oh, John Moran was a sophomore in 2019. I ain't know that. Did you know that?
Nah, I ain't know that. I ain't even know that.
I ain't know that. See, this is why we doing this show, man. Let me put a star next to that. I mean, it's a dope comment, man. Shout to you. You help us answer the question of the title of the show. Because I don't know. I just be thinking of this and I just be wanting to do the content. I pull up. You feel me? Shout to Money Mike. He said it's crazy because football, you got to play 3 years before you enter the NFL draft now. See, the NBA different. You feel what I'm saying? But the NFL makes sense not letting players that young come into the NFL because of the physicality. You feel me? You know what I mean? Be in a situation where they could, you know what I'm saying? Being there too early, stagnate the player development. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that changed up because they kept saying, like I heard Gilbert say, like they believe that seniors become system players and not have enough of their their raw talent. So the NBA wants to drive more raw talent and mold it into a superstar, some type of superstar. But sometimes you just can't, sometimes that don't work out. Like you said, Nick Clifford, I talked about Nick. He a senior. He might have been in college 5 years, but the work that he's put in, it just shows like as much as Cooper Flag's been that name, somebody like Nick Clifford coming to Summer League and start balling and open up everybody's eyes like, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? Who is this guy balling? Find out he's an older player, and they're like, maybe he's supposed to be like that because he's older. Not every older player is like that. Not every older player is nice. You know what I'm saying? There are guys that have been overlooked. I got a list of guys right here, Breeze, that's been overlooked. For real. Listen, Dennis Rodman in 96, 27 pick, overlooked. You know what I'm saying? Nikola Jokic, 2014 overlooked. Manu Ginobili in 99 was overlooked. Say he was the 57th overall pick, bro. Manu Ginobili, 6-man that was over there doing damage for the Spurs. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Steve Nash. They say Steve Nash in 96 was overlooked. They don't got when he was picked, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They say he was 2 spots behind Kobe. For I guess that was in the draft.
Yo,
yeah, he was drafted 15. He was drafted 15. So he was outside of the lottery.
Yeah,
Yo,
so hold on. So again, that's what I'm saying. Back then, I feel like early in the 2000s, there was more of that But more of it now is them going towards the freshmen. You know what I mean? Shout out to the chat, the ruler FN. Back in the comments, he said Blake Griffin was a sophomore. You feel what I'm saying? 2009. You feel what I mean? So again, the question has been answered, and for the most part, it's far in between. It's more the freshman player than it is the second, third, or fourth year player. We figured it out. We 10 minutes in the show. W chat. Shout to Ice. You hear him out here cooking. We out here, man. Like I said, Nets fans is the best fans. I probably can go to any other fan. They probably wouldn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But Nets fans is the best fans. We know what it is. We rocking. You feel what I'm saying? Shout to Terrell Davis. Shout to Leaf. Subscribe to Leaf. Yeah, like I said, I kicked up dust. He was acting like he wasn't going to do no games. He know versus the Spurs. His Net fan, as a Net fan, he should be out there doing the play-by-play. He doing the play-by-play. I seen him posted on YouTube. Yeah, like I said, hey, Nets fans, the best fans, even up what it takes for them to do the play-by-play. You see me in here, Ice out here. You see me out here. Y'all see the Net fan content creators out here. Don't pretend like, you know what I'm saying, we ain't making elbow room. You know what I'm saying? You go to the lunch table, time for Nets fans to eat. You got to make elbow room around the other fans. You know what I'm saying? The fan base is only getting bigger. We only growing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is what it is, man. Shout to Player One. Shout to Money Mike. Shout to Jamal. Jamal with a comment for Ice. He says, Ice, that's why people say the lottery don't matter all the time. Talk to him, Ice.
Yeah, that's facts, because you got to do your homework. And it's difficult to do homework when you're scouting, right? Because certain players, especially like us being Nets, knowing you're looking for younger players, you're looking for young talent. But even though you're looking for young talent, don't let your eyes fool you and tell you this older player is not good. He's not good enough. We just want all young talent. That's not necessarily what you want in the draft. You want the best talent. Whatever your eyes tell you is the best talent, that's what you go with. Don't look for the number, look for the talent. You heard what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, bro, that's easy to say depending on the franchise. And again, that's why I call you at scout mode. Now, let's just get into this. And again, let me just slow it down and explain to the chat why I call Ice at scout mode. Now, we all knew going through last season it was going to be tough and rough and everything that a Nets fan had to go through, the storm, the hell, all of the different stuff that we had to go through, knowing we was going to lose, going into the game, trying to be hopeful as possible, but knowing that the whole situation is for us to be focused on the lottery pick. At Scout Mode was there to bring that fans hope, breaking down what it is to look at players and see the talent regardless of the pick. Ice, talk to me in your opinion, what it is that do you agree with me rather? Do you agree with me that that's what separates franchises, how they scout talent in college, knowing how to find talent without it being a lottery pick?
Yes, yeah, that definitely separates organizations, because certain organizations have certain guys with certain eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like certain eyes, man, they be telling you like, yo, you know what I'm saying? They ain't looking for numbers. They might want to go in a lottery for a certain number, but after that, you know what I'm saying? They looking for talent in certain organizations. I don't want to say OKC, but they one of them. OKC scouts great talent. You know what I'm saying? Like they players is on. Like, yo, I don't even know where they be finding these dudes at. Just to say, dude name is Youngblood. That they talking about right now for OKC is putting up buckets. You know what I'm saying? They got another dude that was playing today. I can't remember what his name is, but he was putting up buckets in today's game. You know what I'm saying? Coming off the bench like a 6 man. Like, who is this dude, yo? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo.
Yeah, no, I don't mean to laugh. Yo, you see the chat messing with you, right?
Yeah. I see that.
I just look like he spit a mean 16. I'm crying, bro.
I do though. You heard? I do though.
Yeah, Ice is spit. That's what I'm saying. I want to do the mixtape with Ice, man.
Yo,
Oh, the
facts.
money, the ruler
It's
FA, he
it's the
laughing.
camera phone, yo. It's the camera phone that got me looking like this real quick. You know what I mean? I ain't on my laptop.
Where we rocking though. So all right, we're gonna get into some G League content. Because I want y'all to understand what the G League is, but I'm not gonna hold on. Let me slow it down and again just kind of before we get to that, kind of close this conversation. I said all that to say, and again, W Chat for helping us find out players that was, what I mean, wasn't a freshman when they got drafted as the #1 pick. That's the title of the show, W Chat. Word, man. I'm about to send y'all a super chat, man. If I could, man, I would send you a free t-shirt. When I come up, I'm gonna be doing stuff like that, man. Sending y'all free t-shirts to answer the questions and all that. But I ain't got it like that right now. Right now, you get you get the salute, you get the respect, though. You feel me? You get that respect. Word, I acknowledge that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Demon Boy 81. He a member on this page, which I think is the dopest shit because he a Knicks fan. So that means I gotta be talking real basketball. You know what I mean? If they said I'm not a hater. You know what I'm saying? Like even look, this how true to the game it is. This is a hoodie. It say original troll because I was part of a podcast where I used to be versus a Knicks fan, and yeah, I got the hoodie because of that. Now I'm saying that to say, yeah, he you know what I'm saying, became a member of the page, so I gotta be talking hoop. You know what I'm saying? So I felt really honored that he became a member of the page. But yeah, back to my guy Ice, man. Y'all already know, man. Nets fans is the best fans. Ice.
Yo.
Now, it's fair to say that as much credit as we give the Thunder, they did get a lot of lottery picks. Let's not pretend like they didn't have KD, Westbrook, Harden. Everybody said, "Oh, the Brooklyn Nets and OKC is the same thing." No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's definitely not.
No, it's not. It ain't the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So the Nets finally got a pick in the lottery, and it's an 8th pick. They got Shaq. He was like a #1 pick, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Jalen Williams was in the lottery.
Yeah, probably.
Nah, I think he was like 12.
That's the lottery.
So yeah, they had it better than the Brooklyn Nets. That's my whole point. But to end the conversation, that's what separates franchises. Knowing how to pick talent outside of the lottery. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about the recent champions, they wasn't #1 picks. They just wasn't. You feel me?
No,
like last year, Shea wasn't a #1 pick. I mean, you could give it to Shaq, but we know that it's Shea team, right? We do know that, right? We can say that.
Yeah.
Tatum and Brown might have been the closest. Giannis, he was like a 12th pick. You feel me? Like the leaders of these teams, they're not necessarily going to be the #1 pick. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make this all about Cam Thomas and him being the number 27 pick. Don't think that I'm going to go there because I know that's what you're probably on like that. You know what I mean? But also I wanted to talk to y'all about why the G League is so important. You know what I'm saying? Ice, like, again, did you hear about what the G League is doing?
As far as letting players from the G League Ignite go back to college, they have an opportunity to go to college. That's what you're talking about?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I have the article right here for you guys. It says the NCAA's decision to allow G League players to return to college. The NCAA has made significant changes to its amateurism rules, allowing former G League players to return to college basketball. This decision has been influenced by the rise of NIL and revenue sharing, which has blurred the lines between professional and amateur players. The NCAA now considers players eligible for college basketball if they are still within 5 years of their high school graduation and have not gone through the NBA draft process or signed an NBA contract. This change has now I'm gonna slow that down. The NCAA now considers players eligible for college basketball if they are still within 5 years of their high school graduation and have not gone through the NBA draft. If you didn't go through the NBA draft process or sign an NBA contract, if you haven't done that, so that means you went into the draft, didn't get drafted, and then you can go to the G League because of that. You know what I mean? I mean, if you get the job. Then it says this change has opened the door for G League players to compete in college basketball, potentially impacting high school recruitment opportunities. Ice, what you got on this, man? How you feel about this?
Yo, I talked to my dude D1. Dude, I'm gonna have him pull up on a podcast one time, but he do a lot of scouting and writing for a small company. But D1 be meeting a lot of players, and he loves the G League, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was like a perfect conversation talking to him because he see the good in the G League. You know what I'm saying? He talked about how there's so many good players is down there that people don't understand. And from this makes it even better because if you're a young player, say you didn't want to go to college and you just chose to go to the G, you know what I'm saying, being 19, then you and if G don't work out, that you end up on an NBA level, you can go to college, you know what I mean, and get on maybe a D1 level school and work your way from there, you know what I mean, and come back to the NBA and hopefully you get drafted. So it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? The G League is opening multiple opportunities for players that fans just don't understand about the G. The G is like legit. You know what I'm saying? It's legit for players. Just imagine yourself not making it to the league and you can go to the G, or not being able to go to college and you go to the G and the G helps you get back into college. Yo, that's like a blessing right there. You know what I mean? And you be doing some things, yo.
Yeah. And the content that I'm about to show y'all, Shabdul, let me make sure I say his name the right way. Sharif Abdul Rahim, right? He's the president of the G League. We're going to get into some content with Earn Your Leisure. We're going to listen to the content and hopefully not get flagged. But that being said, he explains, kind of reiterates what Ice is saying. And my take on this is dope. You know, I really do think that them allowing the professionalism of the business side of it be beneficial to not only the franchise but the players. Not only the franchise but the players. You want the players to be invested. You know what I'm saying? You don't want them coming to work and they hate their job. You know what I mean? Mad they ain't got no contract. And to the point, players they gotta go through injury sometime, right? And if they do, they might decide that I don't want to be a basketball player. They could go back to school because they got a situation with basketball, like a scholarship, right? But they go there and they take their major. And maybe they pass their major and then they have a professional career doing whatever it is they major in outside of playing basketball. I'm sure there's some realities where they decide that they don't want to play basketball and they get an opportunity to go back to school. You know, imagine you're in a situation where it don't work out at the G League and you can't get to the NBA. Now you're stuck. You're like, fuck. But my name is Chuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but they in the situation basically saying like, no, you can go back to college and get your career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost like you missed the opportunity and you got another one. You know what I'm saying? Your chances, you got a better chance of doing that. And that's what I'm saying. It's better. Like the G League be doing a lot of things. If you look into the G League, like me and Breeze did, you will find out that the G League has plenty of opportunities. You can make, even though they say what you make 45,000, you can make up to 110. Then you can get sponsors outside of the G League. You know what I'm saying, for being in the G League. And now you can go back to college and possibly get an NIL deal from the G League. I mean, from college, from the G League. Bro, they got opportunities, man. G League is not to be slept on. It's not the graveyard that people think it is. You don't just go down and your career is over. You know what I'm saying? It's time to put in work when you go to the G. You know what I mean? And I'm going to shout out my guy, Tyrese Martin was in the G. You heard?
Tyrese. Yeah. Yo, I peep. Y'all see the content. We finna get to it. Shout to Earn Your Leisure. Go subscribe to Earn Your Leisure. These guys, they talk business, dope podcasts. You know what I mean? Shout to them. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, you're from Atlanta.
Yep.
McDonald's All-American, one of the best players. And then you went to Georgia Tech.
I went to Cal Berkeley.
Cal, and then
Pac-10 freshman of the year.
Yep.
And then you have an illustrious career in the NBA. But a lot of people struggle after their post-playing career, right? Now it's like the lottery to try to become a broadcaster, but only few people can actually really be successful as a broadcaster. And a lot of guys, they're just trying to figure it out. They make money. Some people have not made great decisions with their money and they fall on financial hardships. But you're somebody who obviously has figured it out after his career, and now you're an executive, in the NBA, running the G League. So
now, right there, that to me, just me watching this over and over. I watched this interview. This is not the first time I watched this. I watched this. Sorry, leave nothing personal. I'm saying me and Ice, we was going to do a video and then surprise y'all, but I didn't really think I could link with Ice for both of us to go live at the same time, so I ain't do it. But it could be like that for us or you and you know what I mean, just the same way you and I wanted us to both of our pages to have it. You know what I'm saying, this is just a me and Ice live. Apologies though to everybody that be joining the panel. Y'all, you know what I mean? But we want to do more content. But this is G League content. Yeah, y'all be having jokes about the G League. I'm not here for your wisecracks. I want to talk basketball. You know what I mean? It's all fun and all of that. We could get to all that in the next live, but I wanted to get straight to the content. But again, he gets to the financial side. He speaks on, you can hear the underlying tone of how players don't always make it out well without that NBA money. And it's a lot of that in this interview. I implore you to go watch this interview. We're gonna keep going though. We're gonna keep it going.
So I first want to just, what was that transition like for you? Was this something that you always kind of had in mind, that you wanted to stay in sports, but on an executive level? And mentally, how was it transitioning from being a star basketball player your whole life to now, being a regular citizen?
Yeah. One, I think the transition starts at the beginning, and I kind of picked that up from the Magic Johnsons, the Isaiah Thomas, the guys before me who I saw do really well as they transitioned from playing, and just talking to them and understanding things that they were doing, meeting people, learning, being curious while they were playing. And so I said it started there. When I retired, I had the opportunity. I retired with the Sacramento Kings. I retired early. My knee, I had some trouble with my knee, and I couldn't. The last 3 years of my contract, I couldn't play. And in the NBA, contracts are guaranteed. So I was still getting paid, but I couldn't play. And the organization asked me to stay and help out, and help out with mentor some of the younger players. And what the guy who was the president, then a guy named Jeff Petrie, what he allowed me to do was he asked me to mentor and help younger players, but, go do whatever else you want to do. So I would go and I would meet with the CFO. I'd go meet with the person who was over marketing, all the areas of the organization I had never had exposure to. And, what that did for me was just opened up the idea that this is a business, and wow, all these, we had this media deal going on.
See, can you speak to that, Ice? How he says that now he gravitated to the idea about how it's a business, not just about being a player, but there's the business side of basketball. Just speak to that for us, Ice.
Yeah, they opened it up just like they opened up that market, just like in the NBA, but in the G League. And just because, like I said, just because it's named the G League, and y'all think the competition is not the same, there's still opportunities to do things. There's still brands down there. There's still things you can link to down there and build from down there. So that way, you know what I'm saying, that 110, you can build that 110 that you get, because the 110 is I think the 45 is minimum, you know what I'm saying, or average, but there's guys who make more. So opening those type doors, you still got the opportunity. Not saying you're going to make millions. I don't know how much money they make off their the deals, but they open it up so that you can. There is that opportunity if you never make it up to the NBA, that in the G League give you plenty of opportunities to do things for yourself and to learn some of the business, I guess, while you're down there. You heard?
Mm-hmm. I think more than any business, the NBA likes to hire in-house. You know, for the most part, they only hire in-house. Anytime you hear anything about the business side of the NBA, it's always an ex-player or something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe an owner like Joe Tsai, something like that. They don't have nothing to do with basketball. They own it. They not necessarily involved, but they know the money side of it and they just get involved. But for the most part, if it's anything besides the owner, you know, they involved, they hire in-house, and he speaks on the professionalism of basketball, being interested in other avenues. Now, one of the main things that I wanted to say that I forgot to say is that to Ice Point, I don't know either how much money they make. Player one was saying to us, Ice, Danny Green and Van Fleet too, great players that went to the G League. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat, W chat. You know what I'm saying? But to the point, Ice, they might make more money from the NIL deals going back to college than they do in the G League.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Fact.
Like, yo, you ever speak to a player that played basketball college? Bro, they love their life. College basketball players, bro, but they got them stories, man. For real. But yeah, man, we back at it, man. We're gonna get to the content.
In this marketing deal, and okay, so when you guys asked us to come to this, you know, mixer, you know, to this, you know, social engagement, this is really what it was about. So I spent 2 years doing that. I was, you know, kind of the one and done era. I was at the front of that, myself and Stephon Marbury. But in this time that I'm, you know, playing in the NBA and, you know, now transitioning, I was trying to finish school. So I'm in Sacramento, you know, the Northern California. Berkeley was about an hour away. So during this time I went and I finished my undergrad at Berkeley. You know, from there, you know, I kind of worked in some different areas in sports. And, you know, before long, I kind of transitioned. I went back and got my master's. And when I finished, that led me, you know, back here to the NBA. I'd done an internship here at the NBA one summer. So long story short, that led me. But it came just from being curious, you know, not wanting.
Listen to what he's saying. These is jewels, bro. He dropping jewels. Remember, he was an NBA player, like an all-star. He said one summer he did an internship there just to go see the business side, the professional side. Because a lot of these ex-players, they're going to get into that. I don't want to really give it away because it's dope content, but I can't really watch all of it anyway. They get into how it's not only being a color commentator, it's not only announcing the games or being on TV on ESPN. There's other jobs in the NBA. You don't have to be on TV to be working for the NBA. If you get caught up in thinking that's the only occupation that you can have that's connected to basketball, it's untrue. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to get this high school coach on here to tell y'all and talk to y'all about how, you know what I mean, how basketball has evolved as a business and how it is evolved, like just as a sport growing inside of New York City. Like, it's not just everybody talk about the market for it. Basketball has a market everywhere. They're playing basketball everywhere. They will play on ice if they could. If you could go to a hotel resort and you see people inside of a pool where they swim, but they got a basketball hoop and that shit, bro, it's a market for basketball everywhere. You just gotta be, I guess, you know, could have the infrastructure for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, man, this is a very interesting conversation. I don't want to be long-winded. We're gonna get back to it.
just my playing career to be the end of, what I could contribute and what I could do. I wasn't sure exactly, where it would lead me and what I would do. But it's been, again, I think I've been able to take my experience playing, my experience around the business, and now, cultivate that into, leading the G League.
So, I mean, that's interesting, right? Because most people, when they think intern, they think, all right, that's the person that's going to do the job for free, that's going to learn on the fly. Being a star, being an all-star, right? Going from that part of life to now being an intern and having to start over again in a different realm. Was there any anxiety, any angst, or did you have that year of that you were going around meeting CFOs? It really prompted you to say, all right, I'm comfortable in these settings. I'm going to attack this thing head on. I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm going to work my way up.
Well, I was like, I did it. I was in, so, after a number of years with the Kings organization, I left and, I went and went to grad school, went to business school. And in between my first year and my second year, I was like, I want to experience. I want to, go learn, be in a, just be in a regular setting. It's hard to do that. So I made some calls and emailed some people, and Mark Tatum, who's the deputy commissioner, I got in touch with him and I was telling him what I was doing. The story I tell is like, I was like all over the place. And he was like, look, okay, we'll figure it out. But I ended up, interning here at the NBA. And, what I did, honestly, I borrowed from my background. Like, you got to start somewhere. Even in, LeBron didn't show up being LeBron. Jordan didn't show up being Jordan. Nobody, you have to, you kind of have to start where you are. We all need people to help us.
Mind you, he talking about the business of basketball. Like, that's what this more conversation is saying, that the G League is the business. Like, he's going to get into more of it, and be listening, but I'm just letting you know, we talking basketball, but the business side of it, the professional side of it, they looking for professionals. You know what I'm saying? You see how they get quote unquote difficult players out of the league. You know what I mean? They want professionals. We just listening to the content
and educate us, and then you have to be willing to do the work and kind of be open enough to learning. So in that part of it, like I was fine. Yeah, some anxiety. You don't know what you don't know, but you're willing to learn and kind of ingratiate yourself to people in a way that people are willing to help and show you the way. So for me, I never I never got so tied to the idea of like that was nice, but I when I was young, I read a thing that said that if all I did in life was like this thing, and that's all people knew me for, then I did a poor job of living. So I never wanted that to just be what I was known for, the only thing that I could do. So I never I tried not to just be labeled as a basketball player.
So
that part. Try not to be labeled just as a basketball player. I feel like I get it. You know what I mean? People, you want to let people know that you're not just a physical person. You know what I'm saying? You could use your mind to make money. And I think athletes, sometimes they go through that. You hear, not to say it like that, but there was racism, and you know what I'm saying, with the Clippers owner, and saying the stuff that he said. You know what I mean? Sometimes things get said and players feel away. And I think ultimately nobody wants to be looked at as they're not able to use their mind and get, quote unquote, so shut up and dribble. You know what I mean? They don't want to hear things like that as if, you know what I mean? They can't use their mind and use their brain and think and, you know what I'm saying? Be smart and, you know what I mean? That part. But how you feel about what he said?
He said you always need people to show you. Right? Sometimes you do need help, you know what I mean? And it be good people around to help you out and show you how to get into something. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude I was talking about, D1, he might be able to, you know what I'm saying? He said he was on doing work for the G League team. I might bump into him and you chop it up. He might show me the way in. You know what I'm saying? Just for example, like good people and around helps you out, and you don't want to be labeled as just one thing, especially if you have the mindset to do other things like Shaq, you know what I'm saying? T-Mac having a plane, you know, Shaq owning so many businesses, you know, other NBA players have restaurants and stuff like that. You don't want to be, you know what I mean? You want to open up as much as you can and figure out how to do other things. You don't just want to be that one ball player and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Multiple hustles, multiple streams of income. You know what I'm saying? Is the name of the game is hustle. You heard?
I think as a player, they understand that it's part of the business. Being a player is part of the National Basketball Association, but it's not the only thing. You can do other things, and you know, sometimes they maybe had other aspirations before that, and they got the money because of the NBA contract. You know, what would you do if you had an NBA contract? You probably do more than just hoop too.
Facts. Business. Do things, help people. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things NBA players do that don't be talked about. They might help other people that they don't know. I know, like again, Shaq is one of the guys that you can hear him go out, and if he out, you out there trying to buy your fiance a ring, you know what I mean? He might buy the ring for you. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? There's other people that do good things. You seen MPJ out there trying to hand out a homeless guy some money. You know, there's multiple things you can do. You know what I'm saying? Give back to your community. How I seen them help build houses in certain areas. You know what I mean? There's a number of things, and not only open a business for themselves and stuff like that, but they be helping. You know what I'm saying? Multiple people with things. You know what I'm saying? And not be selfish in the way with their blessings that they got. You heard?
Yeah, all facts. Right. Apartment gamers and more. He said, "You hope so, more to life." Like, yeah, you know what I mean. I like that. And trust me, man, people be multi-talented. They just don't be having access to things. And I sometimes think that NBA contract give them access to do things that they want. You know what I mean? Maybe if I don't necessarily do it myself, I would invest in it. You know, sometimes you could just invest in it. You could do something, you know, nice for the school you went to. You could give back. Some people, they want to, you know what I mean, open up a charity for other things that they want to get into because of the NBA contract. And again, I'm just saying all I can say when you stick to the business side of the professional side of basketball, there's a lot of doors that can open for you. It's not just about being a player, you know, and that's all I'm saying ultimately. You feel what I mean? It's not fair to be like a super duper long ride, but I did wanted to get into this content for y'all to see the relevancy of it. We're gonna keep it going.
All right, so let's get into this G League conversation. So everybody knows about the NBA, right? And they kind of heard about the G League Development League. Can you explain exactly what the G League is, how it works, the teams, all that, to kind of give people a greater, you know, idea of the G League?
So the G League, and in its first iteration, the NBA Development League, now G League, Gatorade League. We're in our 22nd year of
right. See, just that part right there, I thought was interesting too, because that's the business side of basketball as well. For a long time, I didn't understand why they was called the G League, but as you can see, who got the bucks, who got the money, who got the moolah, who got the fettuccine, Gatorade, they sponsoring the G League. They say, hey, let me step in. You guys not making the money, we could step in, we could be partners. Step in, they come in, they be partners. I bet you if you go to the situation with the G League game, they got a vending machine, they got nothing but Gatorade inside of that vending machine, or something connected as an affiliate of Gatorade, because it's business. They come in and they put themselves in a situation where they spending that money. You know what I'm saying? So I just want you to know that it's connected to the NBA, and it's supposed to be called the D League. D for development. You feel what I'm saying? It's supposed to be development, but it became the G League, and he just articulated that. But again, like I said, I watched this interview over and over. It's a lot of things you can learn, a lot of truths. You want to say anything to that, Ice?
Nah, man, you said it. You're right on point with that, man. You good.
What about Claude Comment? He said approximately 1.2% of NCAA players make it to the NBA. How do you
Yeah,
feel about this comment?
yeah. I think that's about right. When we only got like 100 slots open, and the slots are shrinking because of the NIL deals. So you know what I'm saying? It's only so many. It's probably like 80 players that that get drafted or whatever. A few go undrafted, and then you gotta, you know what I'm saying, fight to stay in the league, and only so many of them stay in the league. So you know what I mean? A lot of players, so many colleges, and only 100 or less players make it to the league. So I believe that's right.
Nah, all facts. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
Existence. We are the official development league, affiliate league of the NBA. So if somebody's a baseball fan, you think of minor league baseball, AAA baseball. And we are, if you are a player and maybe it didn't happen for you out of college, in years past, the G League, D League then is where you would come to hone your skills, continue to grow, just continue to, in some cases you're there, you're ready, just wait for opportunity. So
Tyrese Martin. Sometimes you there ready and you just waiting for your opportunity. Ice, talk to them. Yo, yeah. Ice, talk to him, big dog. Talk to him, Ice.
I told y'all, not everybody down there is trash. They got some players that might not be NBA players, but they are some players that's down there NBA players. Like I said, sometimes it be the team that you get drafted to is loaded. Sometimes you have, all these stars on your team, they trying to win a chip and you end up in a G. Sometimes you got one thing that's holding you back that you got to work on. And when the opportunity presents itself, you got to show out. Shout out to Tyrese Martin, you heard?
Facts. But y'all see what it is, man. Y'all see how we do it. We're gonna keep it going though. We're gonna keep it going. Oh man, I just clicked it over on mistake. Yep, silly. But yeah, basically what I was trying to say is, in a nutshell, that there is talent all over, and the teams that build championship rosters, they know how to find talent, whether it be in the G League, whether it be outside the lottery. So my point is, how much excuses are we giving Sean Marks and the Brooklyn Nets if they can't find talent outside of the lottery or in the G League? Yeah, you get the cream of the crop if you get in the lottery, but it's still a job. That's why I say hire a scout mode. That's why I say you keep Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas, the number 27th pick. He a number 27th pick. At the end of the day, if I put up the stats from last night and I said, took the name off of it, I said, pick the player that was the number 27th pick, and you see 33-9, you're going to be like, nah, it wasn't him. How was it him?
Facts.
Trust me, Cam Thomas is that player. So that being said, pay attention. It's not all about Cam Thomas, but he's a good talking point in this conversation.
I ain't trying to get you hyped up, but did you see Starbury say Cam Thomas deserved that bread?
You know I seen that. I seen that. Pay that man. That's an NBA player. He was a guard for the Nets. He was a New Jersey Net. Facts. He was part of the Jason Kidd trade. He went to the Suns and he was nice. He wasn't probably Jason Kidd. You know what I mean? What meant to the Suns, but he was hooping over there. It was a good trade for the Suns too. They didn't get to the finals. That's my point. But they was playing good basketball. Marbury is nice. He gives Cam Thomas the nod. Thank you, Stephon Marbury. Yo, I hope AI clip this up and send this to Stephon Marbury. Yo, seriously, yo.
Starbury,
Jamal, a moderator on the page. Word. Jamal, a moderator. He says Breezy, they always talking about we want homegrown talent, but look past CT all the time. Yo, I'm telling you, yo, I won't let it happen. I will not have it, though. I will not have it. I won't let y'all do it. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not letting y'all. It look like it's okay just because he's not a lottery pick to overlook him. When we gonna get 33-9 from the Diego Demen, Ben Surratt, Nolan Troyore? I know y'all got your soliloquies about how it's early in the season. I'm just saying, don't make it seem like we gonna overlook his talent because of the talent that we just drafted. Facts.
Can't overlook. Overlooking is a problem. Overlooking is a problem for every team, every organization. That is a serious problem. You gotta know when you have talent, and you gotta be sure about what you choosing as talent. You know what I mean? Don't, like I said, Steve Nash, Dennis Rodman, overlooked. They all were seniors, and when they was overlooked, you know what I'm saying? Came in as he wasn't a senior, but right now he could be being overlooked. You know what I mean? And he's showcasing right now that, hey, don't overlook me. Don't overthink this. I'm right here right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now all facts, man. We're gonna get into a little more content. This is gonna be like an hour stream. We're not gonna, make it 2 hours. But if y'all want a part 2 to this, put it in the comments, and we could do it again. You find what I'm saying? That's for sure. Catch Ice on TikTok. I'm heavy on YouTube. Y'all can find me on X too. You know what I'm saying? I clicked it off, but for the most part, it was a little bit more that I wanted to get into. But if y'all want a part 2, matter of fact, what was it? I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you something. But okay, this is the content I want to show you. I'm gonna show you this, and then we'll wrap up. And if y'all want a part 2, just let me know, and we will get to it for sure. But we found the answer. Shout out to the chat, W chat. I had Googled it and it said NBA talent drafted after freshman year in college. The trend of NBA talent being drafted after their freshman. Okay, my fault. It says the trend of NBA talent being drafted after their freshman year in college has been on the rise, with several college freshmen being selected among the top 10 in the NBA draft. For instance, in 2025, Duke's Cooper Flagg was the number 1 overall selection after a freshman campaign that earned him the winning award in National Player of the Year honors. This trend is expected to continue in 2026, with several incoming college freshmen projected to be first-round picks a year from now. The rise of college basketball as a top NBA development pipeline is also evident, with an average of 12 of the top 14 lottery picks being college players between 2015 and 2022. The shift is attributed to the lucrative NIL opportunities in college basketball, which have made staying in school more lucrative than risking uncertain draft positions. Uncertain draft positions means you're going to go to the league and you're going to be getting no minutes. You know what I'm saying? You're not who you was in college because your role changed. And why do that if you're getting money in college with NIL deals? And it's only right? Because they making money before the NIL deals. You know how much money them colleges was making without them players?
Yeah. So the uncertainty is right. They had a couple players this year in this draft. Yaxel Lindenberg, who was possibly could be at the end of the first round, around where Danny was at, where we drafted Danny, but they said that he didn't hear what he liked, so they offered him like 3-4 mil to come back to college, be like a 5th-year senior instead of being drafted late in the first, maybe in the second. He went back to college because he didn't like what he heard. He could have been drafted due to the baller. That's the uncertainty, and there were some other players like that too that went back for more NIL deals. So just because you didn't go in the first round, or you may not go in the first round, they always offer you money now to go back to college and do what you do best. You know what I mean? So uncertainty is like not being a first round pick or something.
Yeah, all facts. Subscribe to Ice, man. Subscribe to me too, man. The 2025 NBA draft has also seen a historic low number of early entrants, with only 106 players declaring, marking the lowest total in a decade. This shift is a result of the financial landscape created by NIL deals, which have transformed the economic reality of college basketball. Overall, the combination of NIL opportunities, the rise of college basketball as the top NBA development pipeline, and a historic low number of early interest in the 2025 NBA draft has led to a significant shift in how elite basketball talent navigates the path to professional careers. Now, this is interesting because now you can't say that because they was a freshman and didn't get drafted in the first round that or didn't enter the draft in the first place to get drafted is because they wasn't interested. Maybe a lot of times it was just to get out of financial hardship.
Yeah.
To get that money. Well, you're not turning down that money. You're not making no money in college, and you know how much the colleges is making on you as a player. Before
Right.
this NIL deal, players was given raising hell. Like, yo, like, why y'all not paying us and y'all making all this money? Why does it make sense? And it's so for so long they said, oh, I imagine I don't think it was. I think it was inevitable. Like, you're gonna have to pay these players. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was inevitable for it to happen. And when did the NIL start to happen? 2025? Or was it last year, the first year?
Nah.
Was the year
NIL,
before that?
maybe 2 to 3 years ago, maybe. If I'm correct, I'm not sure. I think it was before last year though. Had to be like 2 or 3 years.
I'm gonna find out right now. Then we going. I'm saying we got the chat asking for a part 2. Shout to them.
All right, that's what's up. Hey, yo, hey, we cool with
saying?
a part 2. Woo, I see you in the chat.
Yeah. So, you know, and to answer the question, it's 2021. You know, in 2021 is when NIL started. So the NIL deals in the NBA started in 2021 when the NCAA introduced new rules allowing college athletes to profit from their name, image, and likeness. This change marked a significant shift in college sports, enabling athletes to earn money from endorsements and other opportunities, aka video games. Trust me, you know how much college players was missing out because of video games?
Hey, that was a
You
big
know how
topic.
big the NCAA video games is? And we could get into that in a part 2. In a part 2, we're going to get into how much money. I'm going to do the research and find out how much money that college players was missing out on because of video games. Because I'm not saying as big as 2K. I'm not saying that the college games as big as 2K, but in my mind, part of the reason why the 2K made or popularized the my player is because of like the college draft. And you can like
Right.
imagine yourself getting drafted from college and that experience. For a while, I'm gonna do the research to find out when they did that. Like I'm telling you, it's a lot of money. We talking a lot of it. But yeah, man, shout out to y'all. Nets fans is the best fans. This was dope. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of fans don't want to talk G League content. I be wanting to get into it. I like the professional side. I just like learning stuff. That's all. And I love basketball. This just kind of led. I got here because of that. It wasn't something that I just planned and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this was dope. I can't pretend like I ain't have fun doing this. You know what I'm saying? Very informative. Learned some stuff tonight. Yeah, man. Subscribe to Ice. Tell them where they can find you, Ice.
Yo, y'all can find me at the Tip Off of Brooklyn Nets podcast on YouTube, and I'm finna go back live on TikTok. Before I came over here with Breeze, it started jumping, so I'm about to go back over there, talk to the fans, and talk about the games tonight.
I'll be in the chat.
Y'all want to pull up. You heard? It's jumping.
Yeah, again, Ice, the Tip Off of Brooklyn Nets podcast. Big fan, Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. The chat is the reason why I say Nets fans is the best fans. Y'all already know what it is. Thank y'all for tuning in. Have a good